Jill, don't scare me.
Speak for yourself, Barry. What are you doing here?
Yeah, well, I think you should take a look at this. I warn you, though, it's not pretty. It's Forrest.
What could have done this to him?
God only knows, but I'm gonna find out what did this to him. Jill, could you investigate other areas?
Yeah, sure.
Jill, this is no longer useful to Forrest. We don't know what's going to happen. Take it with you.
Barry.
I still can't believe it.
Forrest Speyer was a member of the Star's Bravo team. He was the Omni-Man, 29 years old, and a marksman who was willing to do whatever was necessary to fulfill his mission. He knew both Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine even before they joined Stars. In particular, he has formed a close friendship with Chris, and together they'd compete against each other every year in the department's annual marksmanship competition. But on the 23rd of July, 1998, Bravo team was sent to investigate the bizarre murders that took place in the Arklay Mountains. And even with supreme confidence in his shooting skills, he still met his death at the hands of the infected crows at the Spencer mansion. Forrest was known as the Bravo team's best sniper and that he had never missed a shot. So what exactly happened? If he was the Bravo team's best marksman, why was he easily taken down by crows if he should have been the one to stand a higher chance of surviving through the Spencer mansion? Well, just as Wesker predicted, the Bravo team was meant to become test subjects against the pack of wild Cerberus, as well as every other creature that lurked within the Spencer mansion and the underground Umbrella Lab. Wesker knew that even with their particular set of skills, they wouldn't last long enough to report back to him. They weren't even fully armed with their best equipment and weapons, which explains why Forrest was taken down by infected crows. When exploring through the Spencer mansion, you won't find a sniper anywhere, so there's a chance that Forrest was only carrying his handgun or the grenade launcher and not his sniper. Maybe he dropped it along the way after being chased down into the mansion by the Cerberus outside. But even if he did bring it along, there are no wide areas in the mansion that could give him a clear shot, especially if he was trying to shoot a group of crows that were attacking him. Basically, the sniper might not be the best weapon to carry around in a tight environment where every zombie and creature will appear close enough to bite you. What's even worse is that Forrest was only carrying one particular weapon, a grenade launcher. Another weapon that isn't recommended to use against a group of infected crows. Not even a handgun was at his possession, which could have prevented him from being pecked to death. But also, after analyzing the hallway that leads towards the east terrace in the second floor, you can see that a lot of blood is stained on the wall. This could mean that Forrest was already injured before he entered the room, making it even more difficult to fight back against the infected crows. In other words, Forrest stood no chances of surviving in the Spencer mansion. Perhaps if he had locked himself in a room such as the safe room like Rebecca Chambers, then he might have survived once Chris and the rest of the Alpha team reached the Spencer mansion. But Forrest was a fighter. He was like Chris. He wouldn't give up even when his life was on the line. Surprisingly, Forrest Speyer never spoke in either Resident Evil 0 or 1. However, if you choose him in the multiplayer mode that's only available on Resident Evil DS, he'll say,
"Let's light this candle."
There's also one more game where Forrest says something. It's in a Resident Evil Biohazard slot machine. A zombified Forrest Speyer tells Chris Redfield, "Chris, please, kill me." He'll then thank Chris Redfield after doing so.
Forrest, how could this happen? Dear God. Forgive me, Forrest.
This would have been quite shocking if it made it into the remake or remastered version of RE1, but since both the Biohazard slot machine and the DS multiplayer mode are not canon, then technically he's never spoken any dialogue. In later versions, Forrest would rise as a zombie and attack the player. In Resident Evil The Umbrella Chronicles, Forrest Speyer is found as a zombie on the balcony of the Spencer mansion, but he appears on the west terrace instead of the east terrace. He would become a boss in the Master of Knifing minigame in Resident Evil DS, and in the remake of Resident Evil 1, if you complete the game with either character on hard mode, you'll unlock a new mode known as One Dangerous Zombie, where a zombified version of Forrest Speyer will chase the player throughout the Spencer mansion wearing a vest strapped with grenades, preventing the player from shooting him, otherwise it will result in instant death. What's even worse is that he moves quick and the grenades will go off if he catches you. This is a mode that will truly test your survival skills and dodging reflexes. There are no versions of Resident Evil 1 where you can play as Forrest Speyer, except for Resident Evil Deadly Silence on the DS. You can actually play as Forrest in the multiplayer mode, and you can play as him in the story mode with the use of action replay codes. I have tried it before, and if you'd like to see a few videos on my attempt to complete the story of Chris Redfield's side as Forrest Speyer, then be sure to check it out. I haven't completed the challenge yet. I've kept Forrest alive so far, but if you want to see me continue his story mode, then let me know in the comments of those 3 videos, because as of now, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if so, be sure to leave a like, share with others, and subscribe if you haven't. And if you'd like to see some extra content, or you'd like to see your name at the end of the videos, then feel free to support the channel by donating a single dollar to my Patreon. There are also additional perks for donating more than $1. The link is on the description, along with the link to my Facebook page, Tumblr, DeviantArt, and Twitter. But anyways, I'll see you all in the next video, and remember to have an awesome day.